Hello, Mr. Smith. Good to see you again. Thank you for coming in. I had a chance to review your lab results, and unfortunately, I have some bad news for you. The testing indicates that you have diabetes. Were you aware of that?
No. My last physical was when I retired from active duty. My doctor didn't say anything about diabetes. My uncle had diabetes. I remember my uncle had a lot of trouble taking insulin. Can you tell me more about diabetes?
First of all, I want you to know, while diabetes is serious, our entire team will be here to help you manage this, explain the problem, and the things we can all help you with in order to achieve your goals. Diabetes raises your risk for things like heart disease, kidney damage, visual loss, and neuropathy, which is numbness, tingling, pain in the feet.
Well, that sounds pretty bad.
It doesn't have to be. We can work with you to reduce the risk of all those things. We have other team members, such as the dietitian, pharmacist, and nurse who can help you. You, of course, will be the most important person in the management of your diabetes because we want to align our recommendations with what fits into your life. You're a very busy guy. As we go along, we want you to tell us which of our recommendations work for you. And our whole team will help you make informed decisions about your care.
That's exactly what I want. I am so glad to hear that I get to make the decisions about the things that are important to me. My uncle had a doctor who just told him what to do. Lots of times my uncle never even filled the prescriptions the doc wrote for him.
We won't be writing any prescriptions until we've explained the pros and cons of them and find out if you want to proceed. Treating diabetes is all about reducing the risk of heart disease and the other complications of diabetes we talked about. The fact that you don't smoke is probably the most important thing you could do to avoid problems of diabetes.
Well, great. I mean, I had no plans to start smoking. So, tell me about the risks of diabetes and what can I do to reduce those risks?
The greatest risk of diabetes is increase in heart disease. But interestingly, treating sugar doesn't seem to be a key part of lowering cardiac risk. To lower the risk of heart disease, control of blood pressure, and whether or not you're taking a medication we call a statin for cholesterol are the key interventions.
Those don't sound too tough. Let's talk about what I can do about controlling my sugar.
Great. Well, what we'll begin with.
Over the next few weeks, your team meets with Mr. Smith to review the many aspects of comprehensive diabetes care, including exercise, diet, foot and eye care. Part of that education includes some simple information about A1C, focusing on some basic aspects of this test. It is a simple blood test that measures overall glycemic control for the previous 2 to 3 months. It varies by about plus or minus 0.5%. Helping Mr. Smith understand these features of the test will help keep him from worrying about minor, statistically insignificant variations from test to test. We use the A1C as a target range to help all of us know how well Mr. Smith's blood sugar is being controlled.
You're young and healthy, which means you're a lot like patients in a research study called United Kingdom Prospective Diabetes Study, or UKPDS. Patients in that study gained 2 main advantages from 2 fairly simple interventions. Patients who took a medication called metformin reduced their risk of heart attack and death. Metformin is a very simple, inexpensive medication that has been used for years. UKPDS shows us that for every 100 patients like you who take metformin, 14 lives will be saved. Metformin might be one of the most powerful medications we have in the pharmacy. Secondly, if we can keep your A1C around 7 for 10 years, you reduce your risk of all the other complications we talked about: visual loss, kidney damage, and neuropathy.
How much can I reduce that risk?
It may not sound like much, but for every 100 patients like you who reach an A1C of 7, we prevent 2 of those people from having damage to their eyes, kidney, or nerves.
I get it. I think I would like your help with blood pressure, and I will try a statin for the cardiac benefits. And I'd like to shoot for an A1C goal of 7 in order to reduce my risk of eye, kidney, and nerve problems.
Great, great.